Our story opens with a vast panorama, a land of raw green, rolling hills, and distant mountains. On a hilltop, two men gaze out into the distance. One, brown-haired and carrying a shovel over his shoulder, stands proudly, while his silver-haired companion holds a white flag with a strange emblem. Beside them, adorable little creatures seem to cheer them on. With a confident smile, the man with the shovel introduces himself to the world. "My name is Suho Kim." But he immediately corrects himself, with even greater determination. "No, in this world, my name is Lloyd Frontera." He expertly rotates his shovel and thrusts it hard into the ground. At that moment, a blue light, like a digital grid, spreads out from beneath him, transforming the rural landscape into a vision of a modern city full of skyscrapers. This, he tells us, is the story of how an ordinary civil engineering student turned an entire world upside down. The reason? Simple and straightforward. As he exclaims with mad joy, "All this means money," to the astonishment of his companion, Javier. But how'd he get here? The story takes us back, a few years ago, to a dark night. Our protagonist, then Suho Kim, wakes up confused on the ground on a country road. A digital notification, as if from a game, floats in front of him, announcing that he has been chosen to have a random wish granted to him by an entity called the Absolute. He is then informed that he has become a character in the book he had just read, The Night of Blood and Iron. Panicked, Suho realizes that he is in a completely new world. The dark humor of the situation is heightened by another notification that informs him, with a touch of mockery, that he has dislocated his jaw sleeping on the road. Annoyed, he taps the notification and tries to understand what is happening to him. From his memories of the novel, the only character who would have slept in the middle of the road was Master Lloyd. At that very moment, an elegant figure approaches. He is a young man with silver hair and a sword at his waist. This is Javier Azrahan, the protagonist of the novel The Night of Blood and Iron. Javier seeks him out and tells him to return to the mansion, addressing him by the name Lloyd. For Suho, the pieces of the puzzle fall into place in a terrible way. He has been reincarnated not into the main character, but into Lloyd Frontera, the eldest son of Baron Frontera, a character known in the book as a drunken hooligan and a troublemaker. Javier, at the beginning of the story, is just an unknown knight in the service of this Baron. Suho perfectly remembers the tragic fate of the Frontera family. The Baron and Baroness, deceived by a swindler, lose all their fortunes and commit suicide. And Lloyd, he becomes a beggar who drinks until, one day, he spits blood and dies. A miserable fate, not much different from his hard life in Korea. Back at the mansion, he is greeted by his mother, Marbella Frontera. She asks him about the destruction he caused at the tavern the night before. Suho, now in Lloyd's body, denies it, saying he read a book, a line that shocks both his mother and Javier. Seeing his mother's sadness, he agrees to go and apologize, determined to fix the mess that this body left behind. On the way to the village, Lloyd's reputation precedes him. The villagers run and hide at the sight of him, and a father pulls his child from the window, shouting, "Don't look at him." A notice confirms the obvious. The villagers hate you. Javier explains that his role is not to escort Lloyd, but to protect the villagers from him. Suho realizes that the first step is to get rid of his villain image. His goal is to prevent the family from going bankrupt, pay off his debts, and live a quiet and comfortable life. But how? He wonders if he has some special ability, a cheat code. The system responds by showing him Lloyd's abilities: human garbage, a passive ability that makes others frown, and drunk troublemaker. When used, he becomes an absolute jerk. Disappointed, he continues on his way to the pub. At the pub, the scene is desolate. The furniture is smashed to pieces. Suho, as Lloyd, apologizes to the owner, but the owner is so horrified by him that he fears that this sudden politeness is just a prelude to a new disaster. Suho tries to be more arrogant, but his apology still doesn't seem sincere. On the way back, Javier explains why the apology wasn't enough. The owner invested all his money in that place, and now his mother is also sick. Suho notices that the inside of the pub was cold, with only a small fireplace. The cold is dangerous for the elderly, unless they have ondol floors, he thinks, remembering the traditional Korean underfloor heating system. And then, an idea flashes through his mind. A light bulb goes on above his head. There are no ondol floors here, but he, Suho Kim, a civil engineering student with experience in the army as a sapper and on construction sites, knows exactly how to build them. Hooligan Lloyd Frontera would never have thought of such a thing, but Suho Kim can. With this revelation, he finds the solution. He will use his modern knowledge to build new things, make money, and pay off the Baron's debts. With unwavering determination, he turns back. "Javier, we're going back to the tavern," he shouts. "And why exactly?" the knight asks, confused. With a triumphant smile, Lloyd exclaims, to get my first order. At that moment, a new notification appears. Your true journey has begun. BRP relationship points system has been activated.